It's getting worse. Single women and the lack of quality men, the lack of the quality man, the lack of decent, put together, focused, logical men. Lack. We've been talking about lack a lot recently, haven't we? How if so many men remove themselves from the market, from the pool, how it would leave so many gaps in the market, in the pool. And yes, a lot of women have a lot of men available to them. However, when that's all you have to choose from, it's like, yeah, good luck. Hope for the best.
It is so crazy how the closer to 30 you get, the more and more you realize that you have basically been lied to your entire life. I had this moment when I was driving today where I was thinking about how sad it was that pretty much for the latter part of my 20s, all I was focused on was getting into a relationship and attempting to get married before 30. Like, why did I think it was so important to hit this milestone because of a number?
But I mean, come on. It's an important number, isn't it? It's a big number. It's still a young number. It's not really an old number. However, an important one, isn't it? Especially for a lot of women, especially for a lot of single women who have been, I don't know, just doing a lot in their 20s. Some having a lot of fun, not saying she was, but some were just busting it open, getting drunk, getting high, getting lit. Yeah. But there are different steps, aren't there? This is a woman coming up to the end of her 20s.
To get married before 30.
I hope you're focused and on your square. And there's an eagerness there, a desperation. You know, she's admitting it because she feels the lack of man. Not men, there are men around, obviously, you know. She can have her fun if she wants to. I'm sure she can find a man that would meet her cheeks. Yeah, okay, whatever. But the point is, genuine, quality, in other words, a husband type man.
Before 30.
A man that would actually marry her, and he's actually a decent put together man. Yeah, a lot of women are struggling to find that at this age bracket. Some could say it's desperate. It's desperation to secure a man. They feel time is running out. However, if there's a much smaller group of men available to a lot of women, then there would be a certain sort of tension in the air, wouldn't there? A sort of panic, wouldn't there? Oh, they see some women finding a man, securing a man. But then there's so many others out here and I'm just wandering, manless, in the wilderness of the streets, the dating pool. Yeah, interesting.
Before 30.
Milestone because of a number. And in my early 20s, like, I never cared. I did not ever think about marriage. I never cared about being single, even until my mid-20s. It was never in the back of my mind. And then once I experienced a situationship that really traumatized me, that's when it started becoming a bigger deal to me. I was like, oh my God, I'm getting to 30 and I'm not in a relationship. And how am I ever going to get married by the time I'm 30 if I don't get into a relationship? And it's just really sad to me that I wasted the past several years of my life just ruminating about this thing that really isn't even that important. It's not even that big of an accomplishment. And I just hate that growing up, we are made to believe that we have to get married by 30. Otherwise, like, the world's gonna end. But as I'm reaching 30 in the next couple of months, I'm realizing that there are so many other priorities that I have that are more important to me than getting married just to say that I am married before 30. And my heart just breaks for the younger version of myself the past 2-3 years that was so focused on this, so much so to where she was missing out on all of these beautiful moments right in front of her. And now that's time I'm never gonna get back. And this goes so much deeper at this point than simply the idea of marriage. This can really relate to any area of life. But I'm just learning that, like, none of it matters. There is no point in stressing about anything. Like, we cannot control anything minus...
Very good point. No, you can't control anything. And it does seem overinflated, doesn't it? It does seem exaggerated, doesn't it?
It's like the world's gonna end.
The vibe you get to settle down by then. Now, this is towards 29-30. But have a look at this.
Well, I'm going to be turning 39 a week from tomorrow, and I'm still single. And that makes me sad.
Damn.
You know, my own cats are running from me. If you had told 25-year-old Rihanna that on her 39th birthday she would still be unmarried with no children, I would have laughed in your face or been so angry in disbelief, because that is not what I envisioned for my life. In my early 20s, I was never that girl that wanted to get married right away and have a young family. I wanted to be able to experience life.
Yeah.
Probably around 25, 26 is when I was like, I do want to be married.
Mm.
And it has just never happened for me.
Before 30.
Okay. See where I'm going? You see where I'm going? Just like the previous woman.
And in my early 20s, like
Never cared.
In my early 20s, I was never that girl that
wanted to get married.
Except this woman's 10 years older. Similar story though, innit? Unfazed, early 20s. But by mid to late 20s, a certain sort of feeling kicking in. Now again, you can say, oh, society, oh my God, society, controlling and manipulating women to think this. But no, it just is what it is. This woman experienced the same thing, except this is 10 years later. And she is about to hit 40 and it's like, okay. It never happened in the 30s. I didn't have to rush it. Of course not, I didn't have to rush it by 30. No. But another 10 years have passed. So before we let this woman finish, let's get back to the first woman. Let her finish.
and how we respond to situations. But the point is that I'm really proud of myself for being basically 30 in the next 2 months and like not feeling like I had to give in to this societal norm of needing to be married by the time you're 30.
Of course not. Of course not. Free will, your choice. You chose to do whatever you wanted to do. You don't have to listen to society and what society is telling you. No. However, the point I'm making so far is it's a common feeling for a lot of women. The age brackets, when they reach certain age brackets, it's sort of like a bridge to hopefully something else, something better, something more long term. But if it isn't, at least, can just focus on life and carry on. Yeah. But when you don't really have a choice, when either your choice is just to date down and date some trash men, or to just keep wishing and hoping to find that good one man, yeah, sometimes you just have to accept what you've got.
That makes me sad.
Because if too many decent quality men do take themselves and have taken themselves out of dating, out of the market, then when women have these moments and instances in their lives, and you can say that, some become a bit desperate, they will have far less men to pick and choose from. Far less men. It's so expensive dating now that a lot of men wouldn't even want to make the commitment to begin with, to even put themselves out there to begin with. Because for as much as a lot of men wouldn't mind meeting a lovely woman, the real reality of modern dating is you have to question if this person's actually going to ruin your life, and you can hope for some improvement. It's more of a guarantee they'll probably F up your life more than make it better, but whatever.
If anything, I feel like my life is just beginning at 30, and whenever marriage comes into play, I feel like I'll know it when the time is right. But like, I'm begging any woman in her early or mid 20s right now that is so consumed with thoughts of being in a relationship, it's not worth it. And like, you may as well just live your life and enjoy the time that you have right now, because sooner than later you will be 29 and you're going to be like, wow, I just spent all of these years worrying about something that I literally could not control. But at the same time, it's like, you don't know what you don't know. I've learned a lot in the past few years. I've grown to be a completely different version of myself that I'm really proud of. But yeah, I guess I just often wonder how much happier I really could have been the past few years, and how much personal suffering I could have avoided had I not put this pressure on myself to feel like I have to be in a relationship or get married before I hit 30. Because in the end, it really doesn't matter.
Okay, that was lovely. Lovely woman. But would you say that to this lovely woman?
That makes me sad. But probably around 25, 26 is when I was like, I do want to be married. And it has just never happened for me for whatever reason. And I have spent years wondering what is wrong with me. Is there something about me? Am I just not supposed to ever be with someone? And the reality is I don't know if I will ever find my person. And I hope that I do. And I want to have children. But at what point do you let that dream go? And I know that like there's still time. 39, you can still have children. There's still time to accomplish all of those things. But it does make me sad to be going into another year of my life without anyone.
So 10 years age difference. So time was getting close by 30. But by 40, coming up to 40 now, it's like last chance, partially. Last chance for a family, at least. Marriage can be beyond, obviously. But for a family, is it last chance for the family? I mean, obviously, in an ideal world, for a lot of women, a lot of modern women, it would be to find a husband by 30, wouldn't it? Or find a secure man, a quality man by 30. A man that could be a husband. So you've already had your kids, basically, by the time you hit 40. You're not having geriatric pregnancies. Interesting. But you see, the problem with that is it's happening too much. There are too many women doing the exact same thing, but there aren't enough men to be there. There aren't enough quality men that are going to be there. Say if women are looking for men on their same earning level, they're not going to find it. There will not be the same amount of men on their earning level at the same stages in life when they want them. No. And as we get closer and closer to 2030,
That makes me sad.
there are definitely going to be more stories like this. More lovely women like this. Because the point is, regardless of when these women want to settle down and find that man, hopefully find that man or have him find her, it will never matter if those men aren't there to be found or to find her. You get the point? It will never matter. So as more time goes along, we're seeing the results of less and less men available.
To be going into another year of my life without anyone. Sometimes I think being a single woman, it feels like you can't win because no matter what you say, people are always going to be challenging whatever you're feeling. If I say that I'm sad about not being married, people will say you just need to be living your best life. And there's a lot of married people who are unhappy and would do anything to be in your position. If I say that I'm happy and content with my life, there's the other group of people that say your life is meaningless and you will never know fulfillment. And this is what feminism does. And it's really hard for two things to be true at the
Well, I mean, let's be honest. How many women are forever single because of feminism? I'm just saying. Should we not make that point? Are we going to act as if there are none? Please.
what feminism does. And it's really hard for two things to be true at the same time, where I do have things in my life that I enjoy, while I also would love to be in partnership with somebody. So I guess I'm just sharing this because I know I'm not the only single, almost 39-year-old person to have ever existed. I'm not the
No, sadly, you are not. You are one of many. You are one of a growing population of lovely, single, independent modern women. No man, or should I say no quality man. There's a difference between an abundance of something and a quality something, isn't there? Yeah.
first, and I won't be the last. There's a lot of people that are in my position, but sometimes it can be really hard to exist in this space where you can be really grateful and content in a lot of areas, but also have a longing for something that you don't yet have. And it takes a lot of character to walk through that.
What feminism does.
What is the meaning of our lives when we stop prioritizing pursuing romantic love? I've been thinking about this a lot lately, especially, thinking about how miserable dating is and how much more peaceful my life is not pursuing romantic love and men in general. And as someone who is just kind of learning how to decenter romantic love and decenter men, I've realized that so many of life's choices, at least in my life, I'll speak for myself, always tend to revolve around the potential of finding love. When I think of, I'm going to go on like a solo trip to Mexico City, for example, second thought is maybe I'll meet the love of my life there.
Hey.
Or, I need to like backpack Europe. I didn't really do that, so maybe I should do it now. My second thought is always, maybe I'll have this like crazy romantic fling.
The potential of finding love.
How lovely. How lovely. Finding a partner in social settings, sort of accidentally, we happen to be here together at the same place, on this trip together, solo traveling, whatever. That's good. That's interesting. That's nice. That's lovely. However, a lot of men are aware of that as well. And yeah, there are some men who do the same thing to obviously meet people as well.
The potential of finding love.
However, again, a lot of men are just going about their business. A lot of men aren't trying to go to certain places to meet anyone. So again, another gap. You have to wonder nowadays. I mean, since so many men don't approach nowadays, you have to wonder, how many situations exist where there are women there expecting men to make a move and the men aren't doing anything? Men are just, I'm just doing what I'm doing. I'm buying this. I'm going here. I'm just at this place and I'm here for what I'm here for. Obviously, I've got eyes on my man, but yeah, I'm here for what I'm here for. You have to wonder how often that is happening and how commonly that's happening nowadays. I think a lot. I think so much. But the point is, you have so many women, like this woman again, another lovely woman, sort of hoping, isn't she? You're saying she's desperate? No, it's a sort of, like I said, accidental sort of meeting. Oh, whoops.
The potential of finding love.
We happen to be in the same place. Let's talk and hopefully get together. Yeah. But no, it's getting difficult. More and more difficult. Again, men haven't disappeared. Quality? Real quality? I mean, quality knows it shouldn't be in the street, should it? Quality is difficult to find and keep.
So maybe I should do it now. My second thought is always, maybe I'll have this like crazy romantic fling. I'm always like feeling the pull to move to New York City, and some of my follow-up thoughts are always, I think that's where my person is. I don't have an answer for this, but what does life look like when you're not centering those things? Because as much as I've concentrated my life around friendship, it's still an instinctual thing for me to think about finding a partner. And I think a lot of it comes from the fear of all of my friends are going to find one and leave me. Obviously, it's not like the entire experience is surrounded by finding a man. Like, obviously, I love, you know, trying new foods and seeing new cultures and
Okay, yeah, we get it. Because women always use that excuse. Oh, but life and doing these things and my friends and whatever. Okay, we get it. The point we've seen so far in this is, regardless of feminism, regardless of society and everything, a lot of women feel within themselves that something is missing. And it does not matter the amount of reinforcement they get from their friends and their other girly pops. Because like she said, she knows some of her girly pops are going to betray her and get married and run off and have kids. Yeah, and disappear and leave her, abandon her. Yeah, that's not even funny, but I mean, it does happen. So on one hand, I think some women have realized that some women are lying to each other. They're deceiving each other, pretending it's not that important, when deep down they all have a similar feeling of it being so important. Now, the sad reality is, again, with a lack of the quality man available to them, some women, you know, they get panicky. I mean, desperation vibes start to radiate, emit. And it's like, even if she's not desperate, it doesn't matter. It's a certain biological thing ticking away inside of her, making her want the attention and validation. She needs it. It's like a drug. A woman's traveling, hoping to get, seen and chased, and she wants to move to New York, which is actually, there's nothing wrong with any of that. However, the pool of men is going to get smaller and smaller. And again, we have seen how creative a lot of women have had to become to hopefully land and secure the attention of a quality man. Again, quality.
experiencing art. For some reason, it always comes back to love and romantic love.
Let me try to prove a point that I think is 100% correct. The point I'm going to make is that men don't get a lot of compliments ever. They can count like the number of times they got complimented in their fingers. Because my boyfriend and I were just playing a card game. I actually have the literal question right here. And then the question was, what's a compliment you received that stuck with you? And tell me why this man literally took 5 minutes to think of an answer while I had a few in my mind. And then
Well, of course you do. Of course you do. Here's an odd point. Men are not used to getting compliments, no. And women have so much power in this field and they have no idea. It's sort of ridiculous the amount of power they have here and have no idea. However, on the flip side of it, a lot of women say men get confused by getting compliments because a lot of men take it as flirting. Okay, indeed. Some do. Okay, but that's part of the problem as well. Because if a lot less men are approaching and a lot more women are supposed to approach, how then can a man take a compliment? Is it a real compliment? Is she just saying it? Are you serious? Do you really mean it? You know? What I'm saying is, with a lot less quality men available and women trying to be creative in how they find, these quality men, a lot of women will come up against a wall of disbelief. Not that he won't believe her, not that a man won't believe her in her complimenting him, but it's like, okay, easy. Where's it all coming from? I'm not used to it. Women only compliment me when they want something from me, to use me, as a lot of men would think. So whereas it's rare for a lot of men, this also does not work in women's favor for women trying to approach men and compliment them. Because it's like, is she flirting with me? Does she mean it? Or is she taking the piss? This chick's taking the piss.
I was like, why does it take a long time for you to think of an answer? And he was like, well, I don't really get complimented a lot, like besides from me. And then I was like, do men just don't get complimented? Then it's like you'll compliment a man on something they will remember it forever.
And forever is a long time, isn't it? Especially to yearn for something and never find it. A lot of men are staying hidden. They never want to be found. Damn, the world is yours. Have a nice day.
To get married before 30.
That makes me sad.
The potential of finding love.